today. I want my audience about the National Football League's history, its season structure, its
team salary caps, and the NFL's drug policy. Now, to understand the National Football League, it's good to know how the NFL got started and some of the changes it went through to present day. Now, is everybody ready for some football? NFL is one of the most watched sporting event in the U.S. today, especially the Super Bowl, and is second watched in the world underneath soccer. Now, as a kid, most of us dreamed about being some sort of professional athlete, whether it be football or some other sport. But obviously, most of us can't live out our childhood dreams, so we become supporters of that league or that sport. Hello, my name is Michael Ambo, and I'm going to talk to you today about the National Football League. According to let's go over some facts about how the NFL got started. According to Reference.com, this is how the NFL got started. The American Professional Football League, as you can see on this picture right here, it was created in 1921. It was created in Canton, Ohio at a dealer. Now, the teams, there were only first 4 teams at the beginning, but a year later, the teams increased from 4 to 22. Now, at the end of that first season, a team from Akron, Ohio, they won the season, but they didn't win the Super Bowl because back then there wasn't a Super Bowl. They went by who had the best record in the season. So now that we have a little bit of knowledge about the NFL's history, let me talk to you about the NFL's season structure. Now, according to Reference.com, this is how NFL teams' season is organized. To this present day, the NFL has 32 teams in the entire league. These teams are split down the middle. There are 16 teams in the AFC, and there are 16 teams in the NFC. Now, as you can see by the logo with the AFC and the NFC on it. Now within each conference, there are four divisions: the AFC North, the AFC East, the AFC South, the AFC West, and the same with the NFC North, South, East, and West. Now, within these divisions, there are 4 teams. Now, these 4 teams, they have to play each other throughout the regular season twice. They also have to play other teams in other divisions within their conference, and they have to play other teams in the other conference. And usually the team with the best record, they're the ones that make it to the playoffs, as you can see from this diagram here. Usually teams usually have a 12 game playoff. 6 from the AFC, 6 from the NFC, 6 from the AFC. They'll play the first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs, then they'll come and play the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship, and the last 2 will play in the Super Bowl. Now now that we have a clear understanding of how that the National Football League's teams or season is structured, let's take a small look at the NFL's team salary cap and drug policies. Now, according to Wikipedia.com, the NFL started testing for performance-enhancing drugs, and a lot of players have been getting busted. Now, in 1987, that's when the league first started testing for performance-enhancing drugs. A lot of players were against this, and obviously those were the players that were using these drugs. Now, it depends on how many times they were busted. That depends on how many games they were going to be suspended for. For example, if they were their first offense getting busted, they'll be suspended for 4 games. Now, for their second offense, they could be suspended for 8 games, and if it's their third offense, they could possibly be suspended for 1 year or the entire season. Now, up to team management or the NFL about which games they're going to suspend it for. They can't be suspended for the regular season, or they're going to suspend it for the playoffs. Now, according to Wikipedia, this is the salary cap. Salary caps came into play around 1994. And according to Wikipedia, this is the most that any NFL team can spend on players. Now, and on this diagram, you can see that the 1994, the NFL salary cap was $34.6 million. And 10 years later, the salary cap increased over double to $80.6 million. And 2011, the salary cap went up to $120 million. Now, with an increased salary cap, this is the more room that teams have to get better quality players, equipment, etc. So this gives a lot of more money and room for NFL teams to work with all around. So now that you know about team salary cap and team drug policy limit, go over of what I taught you about today. I have taught you about the NFL's organizational season structure. I taught you about its history. I taught you about the NFL's drug policy, and it's the most watched sporting event today. All of us love it, and it's the most watched sporting event in the world. Now, hopefully we've all learned something. Now, let's go watch some football. Thank you.